Millerites believed that the Lord was going to come October 22, 1844. They had almost anywhere between 50 to 100,000 people on the East Coast that gave up jobs, gave up farms, gave up homes to support Miller and all his evangelists to spread this word. And then when he didn't come, they had what was called a great disappointment. I mean, and it is really, really a very sad part of history that we don't know as Americans. But anyway, a group of those Millerites just could not give up the fact something happened. They believed on October 22 there was a man named Hiram Edson that, quote, had a vision that said that the Lord didn't come to earth that day, but what he did do is he went from the holy place to the most holy place, and that he started the actual judgment of God's people at that time in 1844. And so Ellen White then had all these visions to support this idea. And so every single thing is seen through the eyes of Ellen White.
Okay.
And so...
Were the Millerites Seventh-day?
No.
Okay.
No.
So really that was Ellen's...
That's right.
White's slant on that. Now, am I correct in saying that on the one hand that there are actually Seventh-day Adventists that recognize that many of the things that Ellen G. White says in her books are contradictory or non-scriptural, variety of issues or prophecies haven't come true, but that Seventh-day Adventists really can't talk about that?
Well, I think that they don't believe that. I think that they really believe that they're going to come true. I think that they completely reject the idea that everything she said wasn't true, and they don't see the contradictions.
Are there some that have seen and gotten in trouble for it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Me.
Well, we'll get to you, but I mean in the sense of, Seventh-day Adventists studied Scripture, studied history, studied and recognized there's problems here.
Well, okay, Seventh-day Adventists have their own education system. And they have all these publishing houses, and they put out their own books. And so in every single time they read anything about Christian history, it is slanted to indoctrinate children into what they believe. And it is very, very difficult, especially when you're ruled by fear. Because when you're told that everyone out there is going to be deceived by the Antichrist, you alone, you better cling with all your heart to these principles and these things you've been taught, or you're going to be deceived. And so that's...
Is that true of the, I don't want to name their universities, but is that true even if you go to their universities?
Yes, it is taught worldwide. It's one of their fundamental doctrines. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, well, you just were raised in one little area that taught that. No, these are fundamental doctrines for all Seventh-day Adventists. And, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of Adventists are cultural Adventists. They were brought up in the church. They feel safe and comfortable as Adventists. They really haven't been, really out in the world to have any of what they believe challenged. And so, they just accept it as true.
And so for most of your young life, you just accepted what came down the pike for you, and you're part of the family?
No, I was one of the ones that I was constantly told I was a rebel. That's right. I was, something's wrong with you. Why can't you just accept this? And I don't know what it was. I actually loved being a Seventh-day Adventist. I totally bought into most of their doctrines, except for I saw a lot of hypocrisy, because Seventh-day Adventists are not allowed to wear jewelry, but that they can wear Rolex watches, they can wear beautiful pens. I saw some hypocrisy through the years, and that kind of opened it up for me. After my husband and I got married, we immediately started having a family, and I got involved with the pro-life movement. And I was told I was a rebel because the Seventh-day Adventist Church is at its core pro-choice.